Hi, my name is Nacho, welcome back to the channel. And the Fallout live action was announced. We've got a lot of pictures and a lot of information, so let's break down everything we know so far to determine whether or not this is going to be a hit or a bomb. I'm really proud of that joke, I'm not gonna lie. Now, if you've been here for a while, you probably have figured out that I'm a huge fan of the Fallout series, one of the longest running gaming franchises that takes place in a post-apocalyptic world caused by a nuclear war, where humans and others are now forced to try and survive in a world filled with all sorts of threats. It's a classic game series that includes some of the best soundtracks ever, a genius mix of stories that range from funny to absolutely horrifying, and a very unique retro-futuristic aesthetic. But let's get into the show. The series is said to be based on a survivor from Vault 33 called Lucy, played by Ella Purnell, who goes to the surface on a rescue mission. Her motivations are still unknown, but I find it cool that they went with a story that was not told in the games. Todd Howard, director of Bethesda, the people behind some of the games, said that he was happy with the new take on the series, cause what's the point of telling a story already told, and that we view what's happening in the show as canon.
It actually works perfectly.
From the early pictures, everything looks amazing. The Brotherhood of Steel is said to play a big role in this, and we get snippets of the T-45 power armors, a Brotherhood scribe, the airship known as the Pritwind in Fallout 4, as well as the Bolt suits, the Pip-Boy, a guy called the Ghoul, played by Walton Goggins, another big player in the story, what looks to be a settlement similar to Diamond City. There's even a teaser going around, and everything in it seems to have a very close resemblance to what we see in the game. Now, when it comes to the team behind it, this is where it gets worrisome. Jonathan Nolan is set to direct, which, in case you haven't heard of him, he's Christopher Nolan's younger, less successful brother. I'm just kidding. He has worked in many films as a writer, mainly the ones directed by his brother, but he comes with experience. However, as an executive director is Lisa Joy, his wife, both of whom were behind Westworld, a show that apparently took off incredibly well with the audience and was later cancelled after 3 seasons because of not so glamorous reasons. So that is red flag number 1. On the writing team, we got Graham Wagner, who worked in bangers like The Office US and Silicon Valley. The other member of the writing team is Geneva Robertson Warren, whose writing credits include Captain Marvel and The Tomb Raider. And no, not the good one. Look, I want to be naively positive and say that this show looks good, because it does. Despite the people behind it having a less than stellar track record, it has a good cast. Lucy is at least hot. He has a good production design. The game developers are involved, although I don't know how much I can trust Todd Howard after Fallout 76.
And again, it just works.
But as a fan, I want the show to succeed. Game adaptations are on the rise, while the comic book industry is having the worst year of its life. Even Bob Iger saying, okay, no more messaging. It's a bit late for that, Bobby.
Go fuck yourself. Hey, Bob.
Plus, there's very little you can do to fuck up a Fallout story, because you got everything in it. You don't have to cater to anyone in particular, you just have to make a good story. That being said, Nolan mentioned in his interview about the series that the games are about the culture of division and have-nots that, unfortunately, have only gotten more and more acute in this country and around the world over the last decade. Which makes it sound like you want to make a series about the world we live in today. Which, to be fair, we are kinda speedrunning the apocalypse as we speak. But when it comes to the have and have-nots, the Vault-Tec system could be something that could be looked under that lens, where the ones that had money got to stay on the ground when the bombs dropped, and those who didn't got vaporized by the mushroom clouds or got to live hundreds of years as ghouls. However, those who had also became lab rats for Vault-Tec, who ran experiments in the different vaults, making those who had suffer a fate sometime worse than those who stayed outside. So no one really had a happy ending, and that kind of balanced the equation. The Fallout universe is a brutal world. One moment you're having a Nuka-Cola with your body, next time you're being mauled in half by a Deathclaw, and yet it does it with humor. You want to talk about corruption? Fine. You want to talk about the need to survive at all costs? Fine. You want to talk about social disparities and oppression? Let me introduce you to the Caesar Legion.
Degenerates like you belong on a cross.
But do it with some subtlety. Do it with panache. Make it a little bit funny. Put some funky country tunes in the background. Let me hear someone talking about an outlaw and a ranger with a big iron on his hip.
Big iron on his hip.
Make it feel like it belongs in Fallout. Don't pull a Doctor Who and have someone tell the men how shit they are.
Yes, we know.
We know everything.
And you know nothing. It's a shame you're not a woman anymore, because she'd have understood.
Or give him a lecture about some irrelevant first world problem, because this is Rose's character in the Fallout universe.
Where
incisors and mandibular angle indicate a male in his early 20s.
I'll be closely following any news that we might have about this show. There is no trailer yet. As I was finishing editing this video, they posted the goddamn trailer.
Timing.
No, it doesn't look bad, but it also doesn't have what I'm gonna mention next. But there's a simple way to tell if this is going to suck balls or not, and it's whether or not they include this phrase at the beginning of it.
War. War never changes.
Like I said, I want to be positive, because despite this being Amazon and being the ones responsible for this,
give me the meat and give it to me raw.
That's what she said. Don't you dare.
they are also the ones that gave us The Boys and The Expanse. I like those shows, so despite Rings of Power being the worst thing that ever come out in television, I have faith that this is going to be decent. Please, let it be decent. But if you watch this far into it, really was like, check out this video next. Let me know in the comments down below which is a game series that you would like to have an adaptation of. And as always, I've been Nacho, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.